we've complained that Nigerians know nothing about what's happening in the domestic league. It's all about the Premiership, La Liga, Serie A. But I was surprised yesterday there was quite a decent conversation going on about what's happening in the domestic league. You'd be surprised that Nigerians actually still are interested.
No, well, I'm not surprised because charity begins at home. I actually feel that they should be more patriotic to homegrown football, and I think that's where perhaps the issue of funding would come close to home before we start thinking about FIFA-rated games. But let's go to...
Okay, so we have somebody who knows a lot about what's happening in the domestic league, Sembe Shima. We heard that Remo Stars, who were on top, are gradually losing
They're losing points, but they're still on top of the table, and hopefully it will get interesting in the coming days because Rangers are the defending champions and they're following them back to back. So
what else do you have for us apart from the NPFL?
Well, the World Cup qualifiers around the corner, and the almighty list in quotes is expected in the coming days and coming weeks, perhaps days now, because March is just here, and we'll see what Eric Cheld, as the new head coach, will be pulling up for the World Cup qualifier against Rwanda and Zimbabwe.
All right, take it away.
Over to you.
All right, indeed. Good morning and welcome to Kakaki Sports. Like Adora and Oye said, we get to talk about everything Nigerian. First of all, before we begin to expose your minds to things around the world. Well, now with me this morning on the show to get into all the conversation this morning, I have Roland Numufa here. Roland Numufa, good morning. Welcome to Kakaki Sports once again.
Yeah, good morning, Sembe Shima.
Always.
Yeah, thank you for having me on Kakaki Sports this morning.
All right, so a lot has been happening in the world of football. The Flying Eagles, as we know, they are in Abidjan, where the under-20 AFCON is set to kick off sometime in April, and they are preparing for that tournament. They played their first friendly yesterday against the host nation Cote d'Ivoire, defeating them 2-0. That's a huge statement. But now they're going into the second leg today. Your thoughts on this squad? Mind you, they are the highest, league title holders of that particular tournament.
Yeah, first of all, you must give kudos to Coach Ali Zubari's men. That's talking about the Flying Eagles. Like you rightly mentioned, they are the most successful team when it comes to Africa Under-20 Championship in the continent. And they've won that tournament by seven times.
7 times.
And the last time we won that tournament was far back in 2015, so 10 years ago. So a child that
in 2023 they came close.
Yeah, a child that you gave back 10 years ago is now a big man now, or a big girl now. So I think it's about time for the Flying Eagles to dig deep and see how we can even get back that tournament again. I know we are in the group of death where you have the likes of Morocco. They've
Egypt.
also won it, Egypt, and also South Africa that are yet to win that tournament. So for the Flying Eagles today, I think it's still a warm-up match against the Ivorian Under-20 team. So it's actually open for anybody to actually win that game. But for the Flying Eagles, they know what's at stake.
Let's now take a look at the groups of the Under-20 AFCON precisely. This is Group A, Group B, and Group C, and Nigeria seated right there, like you rightly pointed out, in Group B with Egypt, South Africa, and Morocco. The host nation, Cote d'Ivoire, who are actually playing out a friendly with Nigeria, losing out there in the first leg, in Group A with DR Congo, Ghana, Tanzania, and then also Group C, we have Senegal, Zambia, and Sierra Leone, Kenya. Your thoughts on this group, precisely the one that concerns the Ivorians, who are now, showing that they are not properly prepared?
Well, they are prepared. It's just a friendly, and anybody can.
No, but somebody will argue that the friendly, you should show what you are going to give us, or give the audience in the main tournament.
Yeah, sometimes it's not. That's not even the case. It's friendly. Players could be, they can be very careful. You rest on players, because you feel the tournament proper. You're looking at the bigger goal, and you might not want your key players to get injured. I'm not holding breath for them. But I think when you look at this, the remaining 4 teams at the end of the tournament from the semi-final to the finals, they are the ones that will qualify eventually for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Yeah. So for a lot of these teams, that will be their target, because Under-20 World Cup has always been a venue for young players to show themselves to the world. I will not forget 2005, the likes of Mikel Obi, Lionel Messi, and of course Taiwo, and that was where they broke out and they became global stars and world figures. So I think Senegal, they've also they've always been good in this tournament. I think they're also the defending champion,
Yes,
if
yes,
I'm not
yes.
mistaken.
2023
so
they won
yeah,
it,
they won the
yes.
tournament. So I think you expect them to win that group against the likes of Zambia, Kenya, Sierra Leone. So it's going to be an interesting one, 26th of April all through 18th of May. I hope most of us will be focused on these games.
All right, and there's fingers crossed right there for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, who will be looking to, get their 8th on the 20 AFCON title and perhaps get also a World Cup ticket for Chile later this year. But now let's move away from the Flying Eagles now to the Nigeria Premier League, of course. Matches went down in match day 26. Which one did it for you here? Or which one was a shocker or a surprise for you here?
You look at Nasser United struggling. I think they are 17th on the log.
Relegated first,
yeah,
yes.
so to get they fired their former coach, I think recently.
Diego.
Yeah, so to get a 1-0 victory over tabletop in Nasarawa, Remo Stars, who are on top of the league. I think they are like almost 8-9 points clear ahead of second place. And that's also one of the biggest results this midweek. And then you see the defending champions, Enugu Rangers, winning comfortably at home against Sunshine Stars. And for Imba, their fans, we are frustrated that they could only manage a 1-0 draw against Shooting Stars. And then Rivers United, we are also playing yesterday. Of course, the game was interrupted due to heavy downpour, rain. It rained heavily in Port Harcourt yesterday, so that was why the game was actually called off. The game will continue this morning and by 9 a.m. Nigerian time. We are just hoping that it doesn't rain again. I experienced the rain yesterday for the first time in Abuja here. Why it has been raining in that part of the world, and we saw the rain here yesterday. But for Rivers United, they were already 1-0 up. I think the second 45 minutes, they should be able to finish the job against Castina United.
Well, let's look at the standing now just to see how teams are doing precisely on the log. Yes, this is the standing currently after match day 26 in the NPFL. Remo Stars still holding it firm there at top spot. Shooting Stars coming in there with 42 points, and Rangers, defending champions, right behind them there with 41 points. Then we have Abia Warriors in 4th place, Rivers United, and also Kano Pillars in 6th place. But in the bottom side, we have Bayelsa United, Nasarawa United, who happen to win against Remo Stars.
You just had to mention Bayelsa United.
To move up there, and then Sunshine Stars, Aqua United, and Lobby Stars. I mean, for Lobby Stars, what do you think is happening with the team? Maybe you have answers. What do you think is happening with Lobby Stars?
Well,
for a team that has been in the NPFL for a
very long time, yeah, a traditional Nigerian club. Well, I think that's your state team, Benue, Makurdi. So
did you need to say that?
Yeah,
did you need to say that?
I think for Lobby Stars, they are going through a lot. Winning matches or scoring goals has not been easy. You're seeing that they have a minus 13 goals difference. So it's really a bad one for them, and you think they need to start getting points, because if you can spring up 3 straight win, which is almost very impossible or difficult in the NPFL, because you're even looking at Remo Stars, a team topping the table. They've already lost 7 matches this season, and that shows to tell you how tough and how competitive the league is, because most of these teams you travel, and when you travel, sometimes you travel to Kano by road, and most of those players, they don't rest, fatigue and everything, and of course also the pay is not even commensurate to what they're actually putting on the pitch of play. I think welfare of players, also players plying their trade in the NPFL needs to be taken into consideration, because it should be a big motivation for them. If there's a big motivation, I'm sure you remember a few years ago when we were even talking on Sports Betway Power, where some players for Damawa United, they were being paid as little as 30,000 naira, 40,000 naira a month, and they are superstars. That's what we are meant to understand them. So I think the welfare of players needs to be prioritized for the NPFL, because that's our own Premier League, that's our own La Liga, that's our own German Bundesliga.
And as you saw, shockingly, of Nasarawa United, who are struggling to get out of the relegation zone, is topping the goal scorers chart for the 2024-2025 season. Raibu Ali of Kano Pillars, of course, the O.C. Martins of Shooting Stars, Shola Adelani of Ikorodu City.
Well, I think if he keeps firing on all cylinders, if Nasarawa United gets relegated, he's going to move to another team, because you need players with experience, players that knows how to score goal. You know how difficult the NPFL is, but for a player to score 13 goals at this season,
and then
with
your
26
club
matches
is struggling.
the club is struggling. So he's just prepping himself to get a big move, maybe away from the NPFL.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes. The almighty list is expected in the coming days, and we've been getting news of injuries from all around. Some of the players that have been, announced to be injured and perhaps will be out of the squad when the list comes out. They're talking about Semi Ajayi, Adele Bashiru, and Raphael Onyedika.
Sami Ajayi has been consistent for the Super Eagles in the last few years. Then now I think also Bashiru plays for Lazio. I've watched him this season. I think he's a fantastic player. Not forgetting Onyedika that plays for Club Brugge in the Belgium Belgium Pro League. So we need our best players because if you're looking at the qualifiers, we are way below the teams ahead of us, and that's talking about the likes of Rwanda, the likes of South Africa, the likes of Benin Republic. So our two matches, that's Zimbabwe and Rwanda, right? Those are a must-win match for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Those are we must win those matches. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need our best players. Well, Wakali has been a golden player, and I think we should also look at bringing him back to the Super Eagles. Joe Aribo, his team is also struggling, and that's talking about Southampton in the English Premier League. There are a lot of players in the Belgian league. There are a lot of players in the German Bundesliga that we actually feel that Coach Chel can go and get and also add them to this team, because we need our best players. We need experience and also to prosecute this encounter, because we have no reason to miss the biggest World Cup ever, 2026. We cannot miss it for nothing.
Oh, right, indeed. Fingers crossed for Eric Cheldon. We're expecting the list this week. I will see what will come up of players that will be coming up on the list against Rwanda and Zimbabwe for the World Cup qualifiers coming up in March.